and welcome to Mission Alive. A long time ago, when I was a small girl, when we had visitors, they slept in my bed. I moved up to my grandmother's house, which was just close by. And my grandmother slept on a very wide veranda on a big double bed that looked out onto the sky. And I'd get in and snuggle up close to her, and she'd say, "Look, can you see that old man in the cloud?" "Where, Nana, where? Where?" "Look up there. Up there, there's an old man with a beard. Look, his head's bending down." Or she'd say, "Look, look, can you see that horse running in the sky?" "Where, Grandma, where?" And she'd show me where. And so I began to love finding pictures in the clouds. Then, when I went as Hagita Secondary School to teach grade 8, I think it was, in their English book one day, the lesson was Pictures in the Clouds. I was so happy when I saw it. It took me back to my grandmother's time. So when I went into the classroom, I said to the students, "Pick up your books, pencil and a book, a piece of paper, anything you like to write on. We're going out to see pictures in the clouds." "How are we going to do that?" I said, "Come out and I'll show you." So we went out, we found a nice green patch, we sat down, we lay back and look up at the clouds. Beautiful white fluffy clouds with a beautiful blue background. And we started looking. I said, "Now look how the clouds move. Look how they slowly change shape." And I said, "Oh, look at the bear. Look at the bear." I could see a bear with big ears and a nose. He was there in the clouds. "Look at the bear in the sky." So they all looked, and slowly, "Yes, sister, I can see it. I can see him, sister. I can see him there, in the middle. Everybody could see the bear in the clouds except John Bosco. John Bosco kept saying, where? And everybody was telling him where, but he didn't see it. And at last, of course, the clouds flitted away, moved slowly away, and the bear disappeared. We had to sit there and wait for another picture to come. So we said to John Bosco, "You have to be ready. You have to use your imagination. You have to look at the clouds and you have to see what you can see. It doesn't matter if you can't see our bear, as long as you can see something." So there we lay on the grass, teachers walking past, students walking past, calling out, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" We were looking at pictures in the clouds. And so that day we saw a little boy bending over. He was talking to somebody or something. We didn't see, we just saw him bending over. We saw an old man. I'm very good at seeing faces. Faces in the floor, faces in the curtains, faces in the paint. And so very easily I see faces in the clouds. Use your imagination. Your imagination keeps you alive. Imagine. That's what Jesus said many times. Imagine a man went out to sow seeds. Imagine a woman lost her coin. Imagine a man had 100 sheep and he lost one. We can have such wonderful stories if we only imagine. The legends that we each have in our own culture, many of those are just imaginations. Somebody imagining. How did a coconut really come? How did that coconut tree behind me really come to grow? Somehow a seed came floating on the sea and landed up high in the high tide and didn't go back out when the low tide came. And so it was planted and a tree grew. Imagine what would happen if a tree got planted somewhere else. So imagine and look at the clouds. It's easy enough to imagine with clouds. Sometimes in the night when it's a full moon and the moon gives such light. In the morning when I wake up and I have my big glass windows, I look out at the clouds, and the first thing I do in the day is see pictures in the clouds. I can always find something, always find someone. It's just a thing that will make you happy for the day. Pictures in the cloud. If we can use our imagination to see pictures in the cloud, we can use our imagination at other times, and it'll help us to live life in a much better way. Look out for pictures in the clouds this week. Goodbye and God bless.